You are paying for subscriptions you forgot you had. That is not a personal failure. It is a structural problem that platforms quietly built into their business models, and right now, people around the world are pushing back. Here is the payoff up front. The shift away from subscriptions is already reshaping how major platforms price their products, and the companies that ignored this signal are losing users faster than their marketing teams can replace them. Let's break down exactly how this happened, what platforms are doing in response, and what it reveals about how people now think about money and ownership. The moment people started counting. A few years ago, subscribing to a streaming service felt like a single, reasonable decision. Then came the second one. Then the cloud storage plan. Then the productivity app, the password manager, the fitness tracker, the news site. Each one, individually, seemed worth it. Together, they quietly crossed a threshold most people never consciously set. The breaking point for many users came not from a single cancellation, but from a bank statement. When people actually added up their monthly subscriptions, the number was often 2 to 3 times higher than they estimated. Consumer behavior researchers have noted this pattern across multiple markets. People consistently underestimate their recurring digital spend by a significant margin. The result was not anger. It was quiet cancellation. No complaint, no feedback form. Just gone. What platforms did wrong and what they are doing now. The subscription model was built on one assumption: that friction keeps people subscribed. Make it easy to sign up, make it hard to leave, and most people will stay out of inertia. For years, that worked. But two things broke the model. First, the number of subscriptions per household crossed a cognitive limit. Second, price increases arrived at exactly the wrong moment, when household budgets were already under pressure in markets from Southeast Asia to Western Europe to Latin America. Netflix, Spotify, and several software platforms responded by introducing lower-cost, ad-supported tiers. This was not generosity. It was a retention move, an admission that the full-price tier was losing people who would rather see ads than cancel entirely. Adobe faced a different kind of backlash. When it attempted to change the cancellation terms buried in its subscription contract, the public response was sharp enough that regulators in multiple countries took notice. The story spread because it confirmed what many users already suspected. The subscription was designed to be easy to enter and difficult to exit. The quiet rise of pay-per-use and one-time purchase models. Here is where the behavior shift gets interesting. A segment of consumers, particularly younger buyers and those in markets with more variable incomes, are actively seeking products that do not require a monthly commitment. App stores are reporting increased interest in one-time purchase apps. Some software companies that abandoned perpetual licenses years ago are quietly reintroducing them as a premium option. Game developers are experimenting with pay-once models after seeing subscription fatigue reduce engagement on games-as-a-service titles. The phrase, "buy once, own it," is appearing in product marketing in a way it was not 3 years ago. It is being used as a differentiator, a signal to fatigued consumers that this product respects their budget and their attention. This does not mean subscriptions are disappearing. It means the bar for justifying a subscription has risen significantly. Users now ask a harder question before subscribing. Will I use this enough, every single month, to make this worth it? What this reveals about ownership and trust. Subscription fatigue is not just about money. It is about a shift in how people think about what they own in the digital space. When you subscribe to software, you are renting access. When the company changes its terms, raises its price, or shuts down, your access disappears. A growing number of consumers have experienced this directly. A service they relied on changed or vanished, and the lesson stuck. This is driving renewed interest in local storage, offline tools, and products that function without a live server connection. It is a quiet but meaningful correction after a decade of moving everything to the cloud under the assumption that the service would always be there. The platforms that are gaining trust right now are the ones being transparent about pricing, offering genuine flexibility, and not hiding cancellation behind 5 menu layers. The ones losing ground are still treating friction as a feature. So here is the question worth sitting with. If one-time purchases and pay-per-use models keep gaining ground, what happens to the business models of the platforms that built everything around guaranteed monthly revenue? Drop your answer in the comments, and if you want to understand the next shift quietly happening in how people spend online, the video on why digital ownership is being redefined is worth your time next.